Good evening, friends, and welcome back to Greenground, where we gather each day to make sense of the world's headlines with a little charm, a little curiosity, and a whole lot of heart. I'm Alvin, and whether you're tuning in from your morning coffee or winding down after a long day, I'm so glad you're here. Today's news is a reminder that the world is always turning, sometimes gently, sometimes with a jolt. Let's start with a story that's been on everyone's mind. The United Nations General Assembly has spoken, and their message is clear. They're demanding that Russia ensure the immediate and unconditional return of all Ukrainian children who have been forcibly transferred or deported since the war began. It's a powerful call, echoing across the halls of the UN. And it's not just about politics, it's about families, about innocence, about the future. The resolution expresses deep concern for the impact of war on children, especially those who've been separated from their families, moved across borders, or even adopted into new homes without their consent. The international community is urging Russia to stop these practices, to allow humanitarian organizations access, and to make sure every child can go home. It's a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there are voices standing up for what's right. But the world's children aren't the only ones facing hardship. In Sudan, the humanitarian crisis is deepening, especially in the Kordofan region. Communities are trapped, cut off from basic necessities as conflict rages on. The United Nations is warning that the situation is dire, with civilians caught in the crossfire, struggling to survive. It's a heartbreaking reminder of how war doesn't just affect soldiers. It ripples through entire societies, leaving behind scars that can last for generations. And in Gaza, the pain continues. The UN has called for an investigation into recent killings by Israeli forces, including the tragic deaths of two young brothers who were reportedly collecting firewood. These stories are not just headlines. They're real lives, real families, real grief. The call for accountability is growing louder, and the world is watching, hoping for justice and peace. Now let's shift gears for a moment, because the world of diplomacy is never still. The United States and Russia have both hinted at the possibility of resuming nuclear testing, a move that sent ripples of concern across the globe. For decades, the international community has worked to keep nuclear weapons in check, but now those norms are being tested. It's a sobering reminder that the shadow of the Cold War still lingers, and the stakes couldn't be higher. On a slightly more hopeful note, there have been talks between the United States and Russia about potential peace terms for Ukraine. While no agreement was reached, the fact that these conversations are happening at all is a sign that diplomacy is still alive. Sometimes progress is slow, but every step forward is worth celebrating. Meanwhile, in Myanmar, the conflict and economic collapse have driven farmers to turn to opium poppy cultivation, which has reached a 10-year high. It's a stark illustration of how war and poverty can push people toward the illicit economy, creating new challenges for the region and the world. Closer to home, Chile has taken a bold step by banning smartphones in schools.